When it comes to the Kevin Durant trade sweepstakes, I've really only talked about one team, which has been the Phoenix Suns, which I think is fair because the Phoenix Suns have been noted to be his preferred destination, and that's where most of the rumors have been. However, the Raptors recently have been blowing up in popularity to possibly get Kevin Durant, as they are now second in odds to get him. And I won't lie, some people are just being biased and are saying stuff like, oh, the Raptors don't have assets or they couldn't even make a try to trade. But I disagree. I think the Raptors could make a run at Kevin Durant, so in this video we're going to be looking at just that. Now here's the thing, I know so many people on NBA Twitter that just go to the trade machine and say, oh, here's a trade, this is what's going to happen, when actually, first of all, it's a lot more complicated than that, and second of all, the team has to actually accept the trade, so it has to actually be good. But it's okay, because I'm going to be explaining everything when it comes to the Raptors possibly getting Kevin Durant. I'm going to go through the Nets side, the Raptors side, and even KD's perspective. Now this video could age poorly because there are a lot of rumors saying that KD to the Suns could be as good as maybe today or tomorrow. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Regardless, I think this is still something important to talk about, even if he does get traded on a Wednesday or Thursday. So first, let's look at it from the Toronto Raptors side. I would also like to mention this video is brought to you by Manscape.com, but we're going to talk about them later on in the video. So let's look at the Raptors, because the Raptors definitely have the assets, and a lot of people are lying when they say they don't. When you look at the Brooklyn Nets asking price, the most common thing you're probably going to see is an all-star player, which I don't disagree with. The first player that did come to mind was Scottie Barnes. Not that he's an all-star, but he definitely has the potential to be. However, Toronto has ruled that out, which I'm glad, because I don't think trading Scottie Barnes for Kevin Durant is worth it, because Scottie Barnes is young, he just won Rookie of the Year. If he doesn't leave your team, you're probably going to have him for more than 10 years. Meanwhile, with Kevin Durant, I don't even think he has 5 years left, and that's no disrespect to Kevin Durant, but the man will be in his 40s. Another player I thought about was Pascal Siakam, and actually I think this one makes the most sense. Siakam is easily an all-star level player. On top of that, you're just switching out power forwards. It's a pretty simple concept. Now obviously I know Pascal Siakam might not be able to live up to Kevin Durant at that position on the Brooklyn Nets, but I think he's going to bring a lot of value. Now with the financial situation, you could add another player, and I thought about this, and really I thought about OG Anunoby. If you add those two, I really think you have a good package, on top of adding about probably 3 to 5 first-round picks. With Pascal, you get an all-star level power forward, and with OG Anunoby, you get a great wing depth player who could maybe play the small forward depending on Brooklyn's roster. Actually, they did just sign TJ Warren, so he's probably going to come off the bench, but still, it's going to give you some good depth. And a lot of people might be shocked, but personally, I think this is an even trade, because with a lot of trades, you see one team has an L, one team has a W, but this is pretty equal. Let's not forget, with the way things look, Kevin Durant doesn't want to play on the Brooklyn Nets, and why would you have a player that doesn't want to play on your team play for your team? The owner himself even said that. He has said that he'd rather have a team that has players that want to play for that organization. So if you trade for Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby and you get those first round picks, which will turn into talented players, then I think you both win the trade. While you do give up an all-star level player and a good wing depth player, you are getting an NBA legend in Kevin Durant. Now, unfortunately, you're kind of in a Kawhi Leonard situation where he's on the last year of his contract, so KD might play 1 year and then he's out, which is something that we definitely need to consider. Now, with a starting lineup that will probably look something like Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Scottie Barnes, Kevin Durant, and probably Chris Boucher or Thaddeus Young, the Raptors are going to have a really good starting lineup, and there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to be contending for an NBA title. However, like I mentioned, the downside is that maybe you're only getting them for 1 year. So essentially, it's a high risk, high reward situation. Now, who knows? Maybe they're going to have to give up more than Pascal and OG Anunoby. I don't think there would need to be a third team, because there are reports that Brooklyn does not want DeAndre Ayton from the Suns, so maybe there doesn't have to be a third team. But honestly, I think this is a pretty good trade for both sides. I won't lie, Brooklyn fans are probably going to think they lost the trade, which they're okay to think, but you're getting a guy like Pascal Siakam who's going to make an immediate impact, and you have a guy like OG Anunoby who's going to be great on the bench. Yeah, you couldn't get Bam Adebayo or Donovan Mitchell or Devin Booker, but honestly, you physically cannot. I mean, it's literally in their contract, so that was not going to happen. And I only mention this because there are still people to this day that think Devin Booker is going to be involved in this trade. It's not going to happen, so stop bringing it up. Now, let's also remember, Kyrie Irving could be leaving the Brooklyn Nets, so who knows, maybe you're going to get some assets from the Lakers. This is me being very positive. You're probably going to get THT and Russell Westbrook. You guys are kind of fucked. Unless Pascal Siakam can actually do something to counter Russell Westbrook's terrible shot making, then you guys are going to have an interesting season. But who knows, maybe Kyrie doesn't leave, and if you guys do get Russ, maybe Brooklyn is a better environment because it's not LA. Now, I did discuss the trade, but let's let's look at it from Kevin Durant's perspective, because there's the question, does he even want to go to Toronto? This first part of the video was kind of like a pros version on a pros and cons list, but now we get into the cons, aka Kevin Durant. It's not KD's fault per se, but the things I'm going to be talking about do very much correlate with KD, so I guess word it how you want to. But before we get into that, let's hear a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Manscape and their brand new Ultra Premium Collection. Now, Manscape just released his brand new Ultra Premium Collection, which they actually did send out to me. First off, it comes with refined cologne. It also comes with a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, which is actually one of my favorite products. It also comes with their famous body wash. It also comes with their newer deodorant. You also get their hydrating body spray. And as a little bonus, you do get a free gift in their lip balm, which does come in a 3-pack when you buy it. This is the Ultra Premium Collection from Manscape.com, and if you do want to get it, make sure you do use code Spex for 20% off to buy it. Guys, that's code Spex for 20% off. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Now we have to answer the bigger question, in my opinion. Does Kevin Durant even want to go to the Raptors? Now, when I've talked about the Kevin Durant situation, a lot of things I've brought up is that, listen, Kevin Durant has so much leverage. If you trade a player of Kevin Durant's status to a team he doesn't want to be traded to, then you're gonna face a lot of backlash. A lot of people just ignore that and like, oh, he's just gonna have to suck it up. But honestly, if he wants to be a pussy about it, he really could be. I'm not calling KD a pussy, but I'm saying there are ways to go about it that would make him look like one. It's a public move, it's a PR move, whatever you want to call it. It's not uncommon to see NBA stars, even superstars, try to request a trade and practically force himself out. But honestly, I put this on the same level as, are you gonna trade LeBron James to a team he doesn't want to be traded to? Again, I'm not trying to say one player is better than the other, but they're in the same status. So as it's been said for weeks, Kevin Durant's preferred destination is the Phoenix Suns. He wants to go there. Also, there is one more thing that a lot of people tend to forget. Remember the 2019 NBA Finals when Kevin Durant tore his Achilles? And remember how Toronto fans showed their support?
And Durant grabbing that right leg. It's the right calf.
Yeah, I'm sure he wants to go to the team that their fans cheered when he had a career-altering injury. And look, it's not like this was the first time this has ever happened, but the point is that it's pretty fucked up that they cheered when, again, he fucking tore his Achilles. His season was obviously over, and his career would be altered for years. Now listen, I know not every Toronto Raptors fan is like this. In fact, that was 3 years ago. I'm sure people have forgotten about it, and they wouldn't do something like that now. However, it was a pretty big crowd that was cheering. Some people might say, oh, this happens all the time, but actually it doesn't. As a Cowboys fan, I saw Dak Prescott break his foot live on TV, and it looked like his injury could have been career-ending. He broke his foot, and you could just tell it was broken the way it looked, and honestly, I'm hesitant to show it, but I just want to show you something.
That does not look good, Jim. Oh, no.
You don't hear any cheers. Mind you, they're in New York, and New York is one of their rivals. The only thing you can hear is the announcers and stuff that's going on in the stadium. The only time they cheered is when Dak got carted off the field, showing that he was okay, but that's a normal thing to do in sports. Raptor fans did not cheer when Kevin Durant was showing that he was okay. They cheered when he went down, and they knew they were probably going to win the finals because of it. Who knows, maybe Kevin Durant forgot about this, and or he just doesn't care. But like I said, Kevin Durant is in complete control of this situation, so if you think about this, this could honestly tie into it. Here's a video on the screen right now where I talked about the KD trade situation, on how he could possibly go to Phoenix, and as always, I'll see y'all boys in the next one.